Hi everybody, it's Jody Emery here, wife of Mark Emery, the Prince of Pot. The last video update that we did together was from April 9th, and that's quite a while long ago. It's September 27th now. Mark was ordered extradited on May 10th and went into custody, and on May 20th he was taken to the US and to Seattle Federal Detention Center, SeaTac, FDC. And that's where he's been ever since. On September 10th, he was formally sentenced to 5 years. You can find a lot of videos about it and read about it if you just Google Mark Emery or go to freemark.ca. And now he's just awaiting transfer to his federal correctional institution. We just found out today that he's been moved into a new unit, which means he's being prepared for leaving. And if he's on a bus, he'll know that he's going to California, which is where we hope he's going. But if they put him on a plane, he's going to be going to New Mexico or Texas, Mississippi, Georgia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, or North Carolina. So we're really hoping he's in California because it'll be much easier to visit him. He was asking for Lompoc, and the judge at the sentencing recommended Lompoc. So we hope that that's where he goes, and the judge also recommended Mark be transferred to Canada. And that's what we're really asking people to help us with, is to urge the Public Safety Minister of Canada, Vic Toews, to approve Mark's transfer application. See, when Mark was sentenced, our lawyer Kirk Tusaw took paperwork over to the Canadian consulate. So they get to decide when Mark comes back home. That's Vic Toews and the Public Safety Minister. But Mark also has to make a U.S. application, and he can't do that until he gets to his FCI, the Federal Correctional Institution. So sometime in the next few weeks, Mark is going to begin his journey to a new prison where he will be serving 3 years and a few months with good time, the time served, if he stays in the U.S. But we hope your help will bring him to Canada, where he'll be able to be released sooner and be close to me, which is all we really want. So we need your help to contact the Public Safety Minister of Canada, and his info is at freemark.ca, and also the Department of Justice in the United States. Now, when Mark applies down there, he has the DEA, the Bureau of Prisons, the State Department, all get together and decide whether he can come back to Canada. Now, there's a treaty agreement which makes it mandatory that Canadians come home and Americans go back home to serve their sentences. But the Canadian government has kind of been refusing people and violating that treaty agreement. And the U.S. government said, come on Canada, you've got to take your prisoners home. The Canadian government isn't just violating the treaty, they're also violating our charter rights. Canadians all have the right to stay in Canada, to leave Canada, and to return to Canada. So prisoners have a charter right to come back home. Federal court just recently told the government that they erred in refusing Canadian transfers. So we have a few decisions on our side for the Canadian Public Safety Ministry, and we don't believe they'll object. But we do need your support to make sure the U.S. government agrees too. And it's not just through writing letters, but more importantly, we're hiring a U.S. specialist who does these kind of applications for Canadians. And it doesn't come cheap. It costs $8,500. And we don't have any money. For those who believe Mark made millions, then you've missed the point that he spent it all and gave it away. And even if he kept money, the police would have taken it, but that wasn't his goal. The point was to make money to spend on the movement, and he was very successful. So we do have this business. I run Cannabis Culture Headquarters store, and the online magazine. It doesn't make money, it just gets by and gets information out there. So we need support from Mark's fans and followers and friends to help pay for this lawyer specialist, Sylvia Royce. She's very good at this job, getting all the paperwork done properly and on time and to the right people, and we need this to bring Mark home. So on October 19th, Saturday, we're having a free Mark fundraiser money bomb, or money bong, where we'll be raising money on one day with donations to try and get to the $8,500. Mark gave away over $4 million to drug policy reform groups like Marijuana Policy Project, NORML. He started the U.S. Marijuana Party. He funded state marijuana parties like in California, the California Marijuana Party, which now you see November, we have the vote coming up for legalization. And a lot of the seeds Mark sent helped grow all that medical marijuana that has now overgrown the government in California. So Mark gave to court cases and challenges against the government, and over 4 million. You can imagine all the people who came here and asked for help, and he gave it to them to help plant the seeds of freedom and overgrow the government. And we just ask now that in his time of need, you give back a bit to him, and we're still going to give what we can from the business, and we have a few friends who will help out generously, but we really depend on the support of all the people Mark has helped and inspired for all these years. So you can donate now, and we'll put it towards the money bomb, and I'll add it on to the big chart we'll have that morning, and hopefully others will donate throughout the day. We'll set up PayPal and credit cards and any way we can for people to help out, so we can get this lawyer to help get Mark home, so he can help me and everyone else end this prohibition and make sure everybody else gets to go home too. So go to freemark.ca for more information on all that. Follow Mark and I on Facebook at facebook.com/MarkEmery and facebook.com/PrinceOfPot and /Jody Emery, and you'll be able to get all the updates. I post regular blogs at cannabisculture.com to let you know how Mark is doing and what I'm up to. And Mark sends me letters regularly that I post online so people can see how he's doing and what he's going through. So please help out getting Mark home, and vote yes on Proposition 19 in California, and help out in any way you can for this movement, because we're so close to ending prohibition. And hopefully Mark doesn't serve all of his time in America, but if he does and he comes home, I hope we'll see an end to the drug war then and there. Peace and pot.